Alright guys, we're just going to sit right here and we're going to talk about this final boss a little bit and the other utter stupidity. They just Red Hook. I know it's still early access, guys, but Red Hook is just completely losing my faith 100%. It's like anytime they introduce something, it's a massive failure. It's like they don't play test it. They just say, screw it, we're going to add it in, see what the feedback is 2 weeks. It's just, it feels lazy. It feels so lazy. It's just, the game's like comes together and then they just decide to just destroy it. And for example, one of those things I actually want to point out in which they just utterly destroy it right now is these things are fun, these special classes, but they're so limiting. Like, you literally can't even design your own party from the get-go because sometimes what they are is just so devastating. Like, look at all my choices. Minus 33% damage, minus 25% damage, minus 33% damage. Where was the alchemist? Minus 30. Like, what the heck am I supposed to do with all these damage modifications? And you give the boss 750 HP. It is just literally horrible game design. I'm not gonna let Red Hook off. It's garbage, utter garbage. If this is how each of their chapters are gonna be, it's terrible. Like, they are gonna literally ruin their own game. The boss was hard the first time, and you already had to formulate it with certain enemies. And honestly, I don't even know what to do as a guide anymore. I guess you need literally the Hellion with like strength and melee. You're gonna need like a highwayman who can blow up the front row. Like, yeah, I don't even know. Like, you're gonna need so much raw physical damage because you can't do DOT. Like, I don't understand why the lungs can't be DOT'd if they're gonna give it double the HP. Yeah, they're just really screwing up. That last boss really made me sad, actually. Like, just in terms, like, there's a couple of stuff I was willing to forgive if, like, they didn't, like, make other stuff impossible, but, like, the fact that you can't swap, the fact that you can't choose between Wanderer, which is just a bare basic guy, and Poet, it's like, what's the point? Like, you know, like, I want to have the possibility of just playing the Leper without having to have 25% damage. Like, I don't want to restart, fail, so I can get some new swings in there. Like, you know, like, maybe I don't want to play Plague Doctor at negative 33% HP or 33% damage. Like, literally, your run starts off solely based on RNG. And it's just like, I thought we were moving away from RNG. The first game actually now has less, I'm going to say it now has less RNG than Darkest Dungeon 2. I'll come back to this in a little bit after I cool down, but Darkest Dungeon 2 is just flushing its gameplay down the toilet right now. It has some really good stuff in there. I'm not saying it doesn't, but that final boss and your inability to prepare for it right now. I understand there's only 9 heroes, correct? Yeah, 9 heroes. But they're going to have a very small window when it goes on Steam to attract a lot of people. Because a lot of people who play the first Darkest Dungeon are going to come back, see what it is, play a round or two, and if it's similar to this, your Darkest Dungeon diehards are not going to play. It's going to get utterly trashed on Steam and have mixed reviews on when it finally does come out. I don't know when they plan on doing that. It's already been 7 months, but in its current stage, it's horrible. I wouldn't recommend it, actually. I actually would have, right up until maybe this last patch, even though it's new enemies, new areas, some of this stuff is just starting to drive me a little crazy. I'm starting to get a little ticks about not being able to choose between a basic and then a poet. Like, the fact that my parties get already defined for me before I go in is insane, since the party compositions were already extremely limited, and then obviously this boss is extremely limiting as well. 750 HP when, like, you can barely do 15 damage per hit. It's not like the first game where I can rack people up with a mark build and do like 75 criticals. You know, 750 HP is a lot in the first game, but it's about like 1500 HP in the first game. I mean, literally 13 to 18 damage is actually a lot of damage with Crush. I mean, like, the Shackles each only have 90 HP, and I started off with like a 46 critical. I would have gotten rid of half a Shackle. For one lung, it was literally all the Shackles equal the main body of this boss, and then you have another whole Shackle fight between the lungs. Where am I supposed to get that damage from? It's horrible miscalculation. The damage isn't there, and especially when you're doing dumb stuff like this, when you're minusing damage, it's pitiful. I'll talk to you guys later.